Hey everybody, welcome back to another video. Hope you guys been enjoying the content on the channel as of late. Just heading out to the store, just gonna grab some stuff for work tomorrow. I had an interesting thought pop up, and I'm just kind of curious, just wanting to express my thoughts on the subject, which is it's a statement that's usually referred to art itself, about the impact of art, and what it generally means, and all that jazz, the old question about, does art make a difference, what is the true benefits from artistic expression. And it's mainly asked through the viewpoint of the viewer, in that us as the audience, what do we take from art and what is the benefits from it. There's two sides of that. Obviously there's the artists, right, and then there's the people who watch that art or look at it, and art can be many different things. Obviously it goes beyond film. Obviously, there's paintings, there's architecture, there's many things that qualify within the vein of artistic expression. But the question of, does it make a difference, right? Is there validity to that? Can you answer that question by simply saying yes? And if you were to whittle it down, I mean, yes, it is a yes if you were to whittle it down, but in a more just broader view of that question, I think that there's an argument to be made potentially in saying no, because here's the thing, with the statement, when that statement is brought up about art, and the impact, the things that it does for audience members, able to resonate or connect, saying all of that is understanding, also is not taking into consideration actually duration of time, the amount of time that you are investing into such a thing, which is to say it's only a temporary, fix. That sort of emotional state that you are in, it's not forever, it's not something that you take with you. There's people out there who may say stuff like that, man, I watched this movie and it changed my life, something kind of ridiculous like that, which is not true, obviously. Okay, I mean, films don't do that. Films deliver a temporary impact. It's a fix, it's a drug, it's just something that stimulates for you for a little bit and then it goes away. It's not something that just dawns on you or just is your very existence now. It doesn't form you, it doesn't influence you in that way, because there's people who will make an argument for film and video games too, about the implications of watching movies and playing video games, correlations to that of violence and real life stuff, and obviously that's not true, and there's been many studies to show you that that's not true, because it's about the individual. It's not about what the film is or anything of that regard. It's about that person's mental state. That's what propels them to do such heinous things, or has them doing those heinous things. It's not because Robert De Niro from Taxi Driver, says something or whatever. It's this, no, that has no effect. Okay, and it's not on the filmmaker for that. I mean, that was the whole stupid conversation when Joker was coming out. That, oh my God, the implications. What's gonna happen? Are people gonna turn violent after watching Joker? It's ridiculous things like that. But there is, I will extend an olive branch, or be fair here. There is a point that was made on the Kevin Smith's podcast, which I thought was a very interesting point. It was by his co-host Mark Bernard. Yeah, I think say his name. He made a suggestion about how that movies don't put people, instill violence into people. That's not true. But it does create within people a sense of familiarity and a sense of identity, a sense of, now being seen, that sort of thing. Inclusion, that sort of value. And that's true. That's definitely can be, that's definitely a thing that films do. That feeling of finally being seen or finally represented, like, that's definitely a thing. And films are banking on that now. It's just the norm now that every film has to be diverse. Everybody has to be inclusive of a minority group. It's just what it is. But the thing about that is that does that make a fundamental difference? Talking about the world at large, does all that stuff about inclusion, promoting a response, giving you an emotional response towards material, does that make a significant difference in our world today, or just in the world generally speaking? Or what I think, which is that it has always been, is it just squarely entertainment? Is it just something for you to be entertained by? And entertainment does not necessarily mean that you have to be laughing or, be on an adrenaline high. Like, that's not, because entertainment is very subjective, and in film language, they're not one and the same. There's dramas, there's horror, there's superheroes, there's many, many different things, and within that, many different feelings that you can get from it. Some people want to go to watch a movie to get something very intellectual. A majority of people want to go see a film just to see dumb explosions and superheroes fight, that's some people's fix, and that's their prerogative, but also that's where they're getting their entertainment from. They're entertained by that, they're not going there to get, it's not therapy, I think that's the other kind of weird thing that comes from film to some extent, is that some people kind of view it as some sort of therapy tool, or look at it as oh, well, I could see myself so much in this, oh my gosh, and then they project onto the film, and they start to believe the film is more than it actually is. The kind of delusions that are formed within that artistry as well, I feel, of ultimately just projecting onto something rather than looking at it for what it is and measuring the quality of it because of that, it's stuff like that I feel negates and ultimately takes away from the true description of the both the theatrical experience, but also what film is. Film is meant to be, yes, in terms of the artistry, it's meant to be very expressive, and you can take many meanings from stuff if you want to. If the film allows it to be that way, obviously. Because like I said, not all, there are movies that are very set in stone. They have their definitions to them, and then there's obviously films that have a lot more room for you to interpret things and to create your own conclusions. But the whole point of film, of why you watch the movie, if we're just talking squarely about the audiences, because the filmmakers are one thing, they're the artists, and we've talked about that before, what it means to be that filmmaker. I did a video on that where, it's a very exploitative experience. The way to create good film, in my book, is to be exploitative, and people will deny that. They'll say that, well, I'm not being exploitative because, look, clearly I'm not this or I'm not that. And it's you say that, but the passion of what you're creating can only be manifested from some connection of the material. If you're not connected to the material, then you're bored, you're not interested. So you have to find some level of connection to what you're doing. Hence, in the vein of filmmaking, in terms of the the delivery of expression, you have to be exploitive. You have to be able to dig into yourself somewhere. You have to find some level of emotion within yourself in order to sustain and find a connection within the craft of what you're making. Like, that's what filmmaking truly is. And people wish to not view it that way because they're wrapped up in their own emotions and they think about only about what they're feeling, but not necessarily what they're doing, you know? So that's the filmmaking side. The audience side, purely, if we're talking about the significance, the impact to the audience, it's very minor. It's just a stimulus. Purely a stimulus. It's just, I got this feeling temporarily. It's either a nice feeling or it's an anxiety. Whatever the film promotes or gets out of you. It may be in the film's benefit. It may actually be that this film is actually providing something really profound and it's getting me on a certain level. Or sometimes it's the opposite, where it's just I hate this. This is just horrible, and it's like promoting a certain response that way, But it's only temporary, It's just a temporary feeling. If you're feeling like this way, if you're feeling the way you feel when you watch a movie the next day and the day after that, then there's, I don't mean to be too judgy, but it's just like, there's just something a little bit off if a movie is leaving that much of a mark, Like, I don't know. Disturbance is like one thing, I guess, but it's like, it's a movie, It's like, I don't know. I can relate to that feeling though, I guess, because The Exorcist left me kind of shaken for a few days, but you get over it, right? You get over it and you move on, right? And that's film for you. It's a temporary thing. It's a piece of entertainment. It's nothing more than that. And it's not to say that there is not significance in that. It's just to say that the level of significance, the level of importance that may be put on that film is not as high as some people may bring it, may present it to be. It's not that crazy. You're just there to be entertained, guys. You're just there to watch something. That's why you watch the movie. You're not there to do anything more than that. You're just there to watch something, just to get that fix, just to have fun, And fun can be very interpretive. Like I said, it could mean that you're looking for something insightful, or the other way, the opposite of that, you're just looking for mindless type of just a mindless experience where you just shut your brain off and you just watch explosions or whatever, But the experience of it doesn't change. You're there and then you're not there. It just leaves, So it's just a temporary feeling. That's all it is. It's a small high, and then you're done. It is, as Martin Scorsese kind of said, it is like a roller coaster. You get on the ride and then you get off the ride, and that's it. At least for most of entertainment, that's what it probably boils down to nowadays. I'm the kind of person who goes to watch films that only like 5 people are going to see, because I'm interested in those movies. I go to a film to be intrigued, to be getting more than just explosions. But majority of people go there for mindless entertainment, strictly for the definition of film. They just want to be entertained, and within that, you're not getting much. So in the context of film as an art form, I don't see the big significance outside of just a little high that you get. So, and that's the truth of it. That's not me like you know, being a cynic or whatever. Like, that's the truth. Again, I'll say, like I said before, would you compare filmmaking to like a police officer? Would you say that they're on like the same league? If you say that you are, if I say they are, then you're an idiot. So, it's not that important. It's just not. So, but those are my thoughts. You guys let me know your thoughts on film as an art form, whether that being from the filmmaking point of view or as the audience member. You guys let me know your thoughts. I love it, but I'm not naive about it, you know. So, but you guys let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. And that's gonna be it for this video, guys. Thank you guys for tuning in. And until then, I will catch you guys in the next video. Bye.